My name is John Velis. I grew up in Westfield, Massachusetts, in a very large Greek and Irish family. My grandfather was my best friend. We called him Papu, which is Greek for grandfather. He came from Greece without a nickel in his pocket and ended up with 5 restaurants and multiple pieces of property. He was proud of his Greek heritage and ever grateful to this country for the opportunity that it provided him. He would often call me and ask me to take him to run errands. In those times, he would share the wisdom he had accumulated over a lifetime. And now that I am an adult with lots of responsibilities of my own, there isn't a day that I don't ask myself the question, what would Papu do? After graduating from my university studies, I joined the Army. I needed something more and was deployed to Afghanistan for the first of 2 tours of duty. One day, 2 bombs went off along the perimeter of a small base I was on. It killed 3 U.S. service members who I had recently just played basketball with, many of our Afghan allies, and a young foreign service officer who had just arrived on base that day. I was among the fortunate who was able to grab my gear and weapon to try and help the countless others who were severely injured in the attack. It helped me to understand that every day is truly a gift. Much of the work we did in Afghanistan involved outreach to local leaders. We would meet with them in what were called Shura councils, where tribal leaders gathered to discuss and hopefully resolve problems. We were looking for ways to dial down the conflict. What I learned is that many, maybe most, issues came down to whether people are disposed to finding compromises or not. Some preferred to keep their guns and fight. Others looked to find past the coexistence. I suppose the same is true here in the United States. When I returned from Afghanistan, I wanted to find a way to continue my public service. As fate would have it, one day I was hanging out with a few of my buddies and learned that our state representative was going to run for Senate and open up the state rape seat. I had no experience in politics or legislative life, but decided to throw my hat into the ring. I was reelected several times. I won the election and haven't looked back. I was reelected several times, and then in 2020, I was elected to the Senate in a special election. I love my work, and I've learned that true service calls for a continuous process of listening and learning. One day last year, a woman in my district came and told me about her daughter, a student in our local public schools. She explained that anti-Semitism and hostility to Israel had become so widespread and fierce that her daughter had become afraid that classmates would find out that she was Jewish. My district does not have many Jews in it, but I had traveled to Israel before, and I knew that the bad rap that Israel got from some people could not be reconciled with the reality that I have witnessed. I have met with Palestinian Arabs in the West Bank and Israelis from diverse backgrounds. I visited Kfar Aza and Nor Oz, where I spoke with the survivors of 10/7. That infamous day became an accelerant that rapidly spread anti-Semitic ideas that for years had been quietly percolating below the surface. For me, the issue was simple. I understood this young woman's predicament, and I understood how dangerous the spread of anti-Semitism was becoming. It felt urgent that we develop ways to fight back. So I called the Senate president and the majority leader, who was here, and explained the problem and said that we needed to do something about it. They agreed. We proposed that we establish a commission to study the problem of anti-Semitism in the Commonwealth and arrive at specific recommendations to address the situation. I was also asked to co-chair the commission, which I agreed to do, but I had one condition. I explained that while we need to be concerned with all forms of hate, undoubtedly, anti-Semitism has a unique history and manifests itself in ways that are different from other forms of prejudice. My condition was that this commission focus only on anti-Semitism. Our commission is now hard at work. I'm very glad to say that AJC's Rob Lycan is among our commissioners. People in my district have been supportive, and I get lots of letters of appreciation from people who are relieved to know that the fight against anti-Semitism is being taken seriously. I get pushback too. I don't mind, because I know that we are fighting against an evil that brings devastating harm to Jews but also rends the fabric of our democracy. I also know that my papu would be proud. This has been my journey to freedom.